New today, 10 Maine counties will be receiving help from the federal government following the December storm that caused significant flooding, power outages, and extensive property damage across central and western Maine. Governor Mills announcing today President Biden approving the state's request for a major disaster declaration, in addition to authorizing assistance to help cover the cost of the public infrastructure repairs needed. The president also approved Governor Mills' request to make direct assistance available to certain eligible individuals and families that experience severe property damage. Repairs will be made throughout Androscoggin, Franklin, Hancock, Oxford, Penobscot, Piscataquis, Somerset, Waldo, and Washington counties. In the wake of the December storm, Mills declared a state of civil emergency so the state could apply for this federal assistance. Days later, she asked FEMA to dispatch officials to Maine to assess the damage done by the pre-Christmas Day storm. FEMA quickly approved the governor's request and conducted the assessment earlier this month. They estimated the December storm caused more than $20 million in public infrastructure damage.